welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. And what we'll do today is work with different phases of the practice of getting settled and centered, and then working with presence, mindfulness, particularly of our breathing and our body and our posture. Then we'll open up to what I usually do is talk about perceptions and engaging with how our thoughts arise and our experience. And today I'd like to work a little bit with emotions. We're at a time, if you're watching a recording, this is just after the 2024 elections in the United States in November. So there's a lot of emotions around that. And it points to emotions that we have about lots of things in our lives. So we're going to take a look at working with emotions in that way. And then out of working with our own emotions, then we'll talk about and look into practicing compassion for ourselves and others. And that's going to be the session for today. As a preface, when we get to the emotions, we can look at the different feelings that we have. And sometimes we get caught by them and they just keep churning. Especially when it's something that's very personal, very intense. I've worked with this book called Crucial Conversations and Crucial Confrontations. And the crucial time is when there are differing points of view, when there are high stakes, and hang on a second, gotta just silence my phone. There are high stakes, differing points of view, and emotions are involved. So it can be deep feelings of deep discouragement. It can be intense feelings of anger or frustration. It can be depression, or that kind of goes along with denial. It can be fear of loss, fear of change, fear of pain. Sometimes it's fear of disapproval, fear of blame, and all of these have a kind of contracting around that emotion, so it becomes bigger and blown out of proportion. For people who have a Mac, I sometimes use the example of the dock of icons, that when you put the cursor over one of them, it gets big and everything else gets small. So it becomes, it already starts big, but then becomes monumental. And if we can look at it and understand that it arises out of an experience, but then we're perpetuating it and intensifying it and actually removing it from that experience and making it a thing that is our own that gives us a strange sense of security and strength, that we can have this strong feeling. But we have to be aware, is this of benefit? Something that triggers us often has two aspects to it. One is a sharp awareness of the situation, and that's useful. The other is making a bigger deal out of it than it is, and getting sidetracked, excuse me, into other things, so that we end up getting ensnared and running around in circles chasing our own tail and not really being effective. So by doing the mindfulness and awareness practice and looking directly into the emotion, then we have a handle on it. There's a teaching that says, in working with the object of our emotions, something that we're angry at, something that has discouraged us, something that we're afraid of, we could be like a lion or a dog. If you throw a stick at the dog chases the stick. If you throw a stick at a lion, the lion chases you. So if we work with our emotions like a lion, instead of chasing after the thing that has provoked the emotions, we turn this way and look in. Instead of looking out there, we turn this way. Say, what's going on? And then we can discriminate what's of use and what isn't. And then be effective in our actions. So, let's get started. Now for this first section, we're going to do it with our eyes closed. But after that, we're going to do some practice with our eyes open. So you won't want to be looking directly into your screen. So you can adjust your device, your setup, so that you're looking not directly and into some space in front of you. But to begin with, let's get settled and centered. So let your eyes gently close. We're doing a sitting posture because if we're lying down, we tend to fall asleep. And if we're standing up, we tend to want to move. So this is putting ourselves in neutral to really get settled and also be open to whatever we're experiencing with a minimum of distraction. So start with your seat, and that's your sit bones. Feel them sinking into the cushion of whatever you're sitting on, whether it's a cushion on the floor or a chair. Make the pressure equal on your sit bones, so you're not tilted one side or the other, not tilted forward or back. If you can do this without leaning back against the chair or against the chair or wall, that's good. If you need to, go ahead, but try to be as upright and straight as you can. And it may be helpful to put a little bit of cushion or fold just under the back of your butt, and that might help you be more upright. For your legs, if you're in a chair, if you're sitting on a cushion, they can be crossed, Native American style. If you're sitting in a chair, you can have your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart, so that your lower legs, your shins are vertical, perpendicular to the ground. But if your knees are higher than your hips, if you have long legs or a low chair, then just cross your legs at the ankles and let your knees widen and open up so that they're below your hip level. Your upper arms hang straight down from your shoulders, again perpendicular to the ground. And your forearms go along your thighs with your hands palm down on your thighs, just behind your knees. Because your upper arms are vertical, you're not reaching forward or pulling back, but neutral. Your spine is upright but not rigid. And the best way to do this is to imagine that from the back of the top of your head, or the top of the back of your head, there's a straight line from there all the way down to your tailbone. It's not actually straight, there's curvature to your spine. But feeling that line aligns the back of your head, your neck, all the way down your back. And you'll see that your chin pulls in naturally a little bit. We're so intent on getting somewhere and going forward, often our chin is out in front of us. And you'll see as we get older, we start bending over and getting further and further and further forward. So this will help with your aging process as well. And if our chin is tilted up, we get spaced out. Tilted down, we get sleepy. So we're not sleepy, spaced out, or heading or rushing forward, but simply upright, present, taking our seat. And once you have that posture, again, because of the energy of the pace of our lives, sometimes we're holding a lot of tension that we don't realize. So, and we're kind of in our heads. It's like a little person up there running our body, which is our transport vehicle. So let's fully inhabit our body and clear away any unnecessary tension. We have some that we need to hold our posture. Oh, I forgot a couple things. It's helpful if you can to feel like your chest is opening, and you can do that by feeling like your breastbone is going up and forward just a tiny bit, quarter of an inch, and you'll see that your shoulders pull back in line with your spine. It opens you up. Your breathing is easier. It takes a little bit of effort, but work with that. And then as far as your jaw goes, let it soften, but don't let your mouth hang wide open. Your lips are either lightly touching or slightly parted, because we're going to breathe in through our nostrils. And then as we breathe out, it's okay if some of the air comes out our mouth, whichever is more comfortable for you. And your tongue can just rest loosely, naturally, or again, if it's more comfortable, you can let it drift up and the tip of your tongue rest against your upper palate just behind your teeth. It said that can lessen the flow of saliva as well, if you want to try that. As far as saliva or swallowing, we're not rigid in this posture. You can swallow if you need to. If there's a sharp pain somewhere, move. But as best you can, keep steady. Now, let's inhabit our body and clear away the unnecessary tension. Start with your scalp, your face. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw. Neck and shoulders, you may not even realize how you're holding your shoulders up. Just let them fall. Chest and upper back, again, we're using a little bit of tension, a little bit of effort to raise our breastbone and open our chest. You may even feel a tiny pinch in your shoulder blades. Rib cage all around. Just let the tension melt and flow down and out of you. From your shoulders, let the tension melt out of your arms, forearms, and hands. Back to your torso and your lower back. Your stomach down to your deep belly. Again, we often have some clenching of our deep belly or pelvic regions and don't realize it. Without losing your posture, just let them soften. Hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Now you're aware of your whole body. Let your mind be in your body. You can let it rest deep in the core of your torso. Feel your three-dimensionality. There's a depth front to back as well as side to side. So let your mind rest deep, maybe just in front of your spine, a few inches below your navel. It's quiet down there. Not so much going on as when we're up in our heads. And notice with your mind down there that there's a gentle movement, a rhythm that happens connected with the breathing. It's your diaphragm pushing down, pushing up to draw air in and push air out. But you'll feel it as a gentle expanding and contracting of your deep core, like filling and emptying. Sometimes we imagine that the breath's coming all the way down there, filling our torso, filling our deep core, and then emptying. Let your body breathe itself. Don't try to control how long or short your breaths are, how deep or shallow. Just observe, be an observer. And don't try too hard to observe, just relax into the rhythm. You might feel some resistance to just letting go and letting your body breathe itself. Just stay with it, and that will dissolve as well. You start to trust your body. It will keep breathing whether you're in charge or not. The next step is to gently let your eyes open just about halfway. Look down under your eyelids so that you're aware of your posture, your body, and the space you're sitting in, just close to you, around you. Leave the main focus of your awareness deep in your core. But there's a background awareness of the space you're sitting in and your posture. We'll do that for a few minutes. Simply aware of the rhythm of your breathing deep in your core. And if your mind drifts off into a daydream, You will wake up at some point, and at that point, you're already back. Just reconnect with posture and rest your mind in your deep core, the rhythm of the breathing. There may be a flickering of a sound, something visual, a feeling, or a thought. If it's just a flicker, there's no problem. That's happening in the space around your practice. If you've gotten sleepy and your eyes have closed and your posture's sagged, just refresh, sit up straight, and open your eyes a little wider. Look out a little further. You can feel the whole flow of the breath coming in your nostrils and going down to your deep core and then back out again. If a perception or a thought led to another and another and another, and you're off in a daydream, and your mind feels extra busy, again, refresh your posture. Focus on your deep core, the full texture and feeling, the whole process of filling and emptying. Starting to fill, filling and full, and the transition of starting to empty, emptying and empty. It's a little extra attention on the present body experience. As the gong fades, refresh your posture. You can move a little bit, get comfortable again. And now again, be sure you're not looking directly into your screen. Make space so that you can look out. And having taken your posture again, just be open. The breath goes out, you're part of the environment. It becomes part of the environment. You breathe in part of the environment into you. So return to the rhythm of your breathing, but include more of the out breath, opening to that. Again, there'll be sounds, visual input, more of it now that you're looking out further. Feelings in your body, thoughts popping up in your mind, coming and going. Soften your gaze so you're open to a bigger space, and all of those perceptions and thoughts are happening within the bigger space of awareness of your mind. Let your mind be as big as the sky. All of this happening, coming and going. Within that big space of awareness. We'll work with that for a couple of minutes. And now we'll work with emotions. As best you can, keep your posture, keep your open gaze. And think of something that has recently provoked a strong emotion. Might be anger and frustration, righteousness and pride, envy, jealousy, discouragement or despair. Fear and clinging, afraid of losing something. Needing, afraid you're missing something. The thought gives rise to a physical feeling as well. Be aware of both, the thought and the physical feeling. It might be a particular place in your body. It might be tightness. It might be numbness. It might be joyful and uplifted. Something you're very happy about. Stay with the feeling in your body. And notice that after a while, it starts to dissolve a little bit, starts to soften, starts to change. It's only when we replay the thoughts that it re-engages the intensity of the body feeling. Notice that cycle. The body wants to return to a feeling of equanimity. It's the thoughts that keep it churned. So now, turn your attention to the thoughts themselves. Are they about something that's happening right now? For you, where you're sitting? Or are you replaying something from the past? Look. Are they about now? Or are you pre-playing something you imagine in the future? Look. when you look at the thoughts, they start to become less heavy, just streams, like instead of thunderclouds, they're just those wispy kind of clouds drifting across the sky. When you see those thoughts in the bigger space of awareness, they don't trigger the emotions, the body, the same way. Everything becomes lighter and clearer. At any time, if you get triggered by thoughts like that, and it creates the emotional body reaction, you can always start the process again. Focus on the feeling. Aware of the body as it is. And as that intensity dissolves, look at the thoughts. See their lack of solidity as well. And we'll conclude with some compassion practice. And there are two aspects to this. One is realizing that what we're going through, we're not alone. And the other is tuning into our heart and connecting with kindness, because sometimes the emotions harden us. So you can do this with your eyes open or closed. It's a contemplation more than just an open awareness meditation. But again, imagine your mind as big as the sky, and all the beings on this planet are under that same sky. Different places, same sky. All on the same earth, different places, but the same earth. Some on land, some on water. And those on land all breathing the same air, different parts of it, but all the same atmosphere. And all living beings want survival and security, happiness, well-being, and all struggle with thoughts and emotions, just like we've been struggling. So imagine that as you breathe in, you're kind of ventilating in the same way that we just did, those thoughts and emotions, making them less heavy. And breathing out, letting go. And as you breathe in, imagine that loved ones that you know, who you know are going through these things, that as you breathe in, you're able to take away some of the intensity of the thoughts and emotions. And as you breathe out, you're ventilating their experience. So you breathe out and ventilate the solidity of their emotions and thoughts. Breathe in and help them let go. Let them calm down. Ventilate, let go. Ventilate and let go. And expand that beyond your loved ones to everyone you know, people you disagree with as well as agree with. We've become so polarized. There's such strong thoughts, such determined thoughts and strong emotions. Breathe out, ventilate them all. Breathe in, help them let go. And imagine that everyone in the world, that as you breathe out, you can ventilate, and it softens the intensity of their thoughts and emotions. And as you breathe in, they can let go of them. So instead of jealousy, envy, anger, and hatred, greed, lust for power, that gets drawn out of them, and they get filled instead with kindness and openness, acceptance and tolerance. The whole world can calm down. You can let go of the imagination. Just come back to sitting here in the present. Your body and posture, your breath and the space you're sitting in. Just simply present. And we close with the intention to continue that feeling of kindness and compassion, to work with our own thoughts and emotions, and that working with it is not just for our benefit, but so that we can be of more benefit to others. So you can repeat after me or put in your own words, may the practice I've just done be of benefit to others as well as myself. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can say, may the practice I've just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And that concludes this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.